Welcome back. Okay, now I've got my little circle still from just this one strip of black. Okay, and I hope you can kind of see what it looks like. That there are little loops all the way around the outside. Now, if your start of your rug does not look like this, then start over. It's worth it. Your rug will not turn out. So you need to have all of these little loops around the outside of your starting circle. Okay, now we're about at the end of this strip, right? And you can see the hole there. And the next color I'm going to put on is red, and it already has the little holes. Okay, so it's easiest if you do keep these kind of together. You're going to put this one through the hole in the black one. Okay, like that. And then the end of your strip, you put through this hole in the red one. Okay, and then you pull it through. Be gentle and pull that all the way through. Okay, keep going. And like I said, be gentle or you're going to pull that off of there. You're going to break that circle at the end and it won't work. Okay, so when we get to the very end, it kind of pulls in on itself. It makes these two little kind of cone looking ends, and then you don't have a great big knot. Okay, then take the end of your strip and put it through your tool. Okay, and we're ready to add the next color. Now, as you work on this, if you're sitting this way, you are always going to be working to the right. And you want to make sure that you do. If you accidentally like pick it up and you start working the wrong way, your rug is not going to come out. So just make sure when you pick it up, like what you've set it down and did something else and you're coming back to it, to make sure that you are going to the right here. Okay, so then you go, just find the first little hole here through the back, and it does tend to catch on your material a little, so just be gentle. Then you got the little finger rule again. Okay, stick your finger in there, take your tool from the back to the front here. Okay, and there we go. And then we're going to find the next hole, which is right here. Take the tool from the back to the front. Make sure that it is no bigger than your finger. Use your finger as a guide. Then from the back to the front. Okay. And you will have your little loop, and then you go from the back to the front. And you just continue doing this and continue adding your strips as you go. Okay, there's another one. And then where I connected that strip, you can see this little flap of material. So right when I'm doing it, instead of waiting until later, I go ahead and just snip that off. Okay, Go to your next hole from the back to the front here. Let it wrap around your finger. Try and get your material straight, right? And there we go. There's your next loop, okay? And then to the next hole, you just find it with your finger, if you can't see it, from the back, around your finger, and through the front. Okay? Find the next hole, there it is, from the back. Pull your strip all the way through, around your finger, and through the front. Okay, and that's basically it. You want to take your time and make sure that your loops are all about the same size, because you can't go back. Once, you know, you've gone down the road a little bit, you really can't go back and fix it. You do it as you go, just making sure those look nice and are about the same size. Find the next hole through the back. Okay. And then make sure it's about the right size and through the front. Look at it, fix it if you need it. This is basically, it goes faster once it gets a little bigger. Okay. So then you just find the next hole in your circle from the back, around your finger. It just makes the perfect size loop, and then through the front. Fix it if you need to, because you want them all about the same size and even. Okay, and that's what your rug is already starting to look like, see? Now, I'm going to grab this other one that I'm working on just so you can see. Okay, so this is the scrap one that I've been working on, just using all the odds and ends and bits and pieces that are left. Now, see, just picking this up, I can tell that it's the wrong way. It's going left. Okay, so right away, I would turn it around so that it is going to the right. Okay, this was a tie from a hoodie. I mean, you really can use just about any material that you can find. And then I'll show you here. I'll just take a quick one here. It is best if you take the time to snip each of these as you cut them. I didn't do it with all of these. It just, otherwise you have to stop and do this every time that you add one, okay? So I take that strip and go through the hole, pull it up just a little bit. Then I grab the end. I need to make another little snip there. And put it through this, okay? Put it through this hole. Pull it. Pull. I use this little tab and I pull it down and then I pull it tight, and it seems to help it from ripping. Now if you do it too hard, you're going to rip those apart. You have to start over. If that happens, you just cut off the little ripped part, go down a little farther, and make another hole. So it's not really that big of a deal. Okay, so I added it on, put it on one of my tools here. I'll use the safety pin so you can see. So the safety pin, you just put it through that's why this has to be so wide. You want the bigger safety pin because your whole strip of material has to fit in there. Okay, so you go from the back to the front, around your finger, and back through the hole. Okay. So once it gets going, it does go faster from the back through the front, and you have another stitch. Now a hint, helpful hint here is when you're holding it like this and you're going to the right, this part of the rug is going to be the back. This part of the rug is going to be the front. Okay, so when I pulled this knot through, I want to actually pull it all the way to the back so that it doesn't show in the front. And so all of your knots, I think you can see some on here, are going to be on the back part, like right there. I don't know if you can see that. See, knot, 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 knot. You want those all on this side so that your rug looks a lot better on the other side. Okay, so I've kind of showed you how to do it from the back through the front, and you have a whole nother stitch. See, it goes fast once you've got this going from the back, around your finger, through the front. So it's much easier when you get past the tiny stage there. From the back, around your finger, through the front. Find the next hole from the back, around your finger, okay, and through the hole. So once you get going on it, it's really a lot easier. And you can decide what, colors, if you want to do one like I did, where I did concentric rings, or you can just start out with one that has just any color combination. That's up to you completely. One is really just as easy as the other because you have to add strips all the time anyway. So, you can choose the colors. I try to do dark against light and stuff, but this one, like I said, is just, the strips from the scraps. Now, one other thing that I learned is that as you get going, like our center is here, okay, right here is the center of this one. Once you come out a couple of rows, you have to do an increase row. If you just continue doing the same holes, it will start curling up and look like a basket. And you can actually make baskets this way. But if you want a rug, about 4 rows out, about every 4 rows, you do an increase row. And I'll just show you real quick here. So if I was going to start doing increase on this one, I do a single, single, and then 2 stitches into this one, into this hole. Okay, I'll do it on this last one I did. So it's the same thing. You just put 2, and that increases the size of your rug as it gets bigger. And then you do a single, a single, a double, a single, single, double. Now, when I first got started, I knew about the doubling row, but I did the whole thing doubled. And when you do that, it makes it ruffly, okay? It's too much. So that's when I came up with the single, single, double, and that seems to work really well. And that was just through my own experimentation. Now this one, I did a double row, as you, let's see if I hold it up. Okay. Can you see that this kind of got wavy around the outside? That's because right here, if you look, I did double, 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 okay? Double. That was too much. So you do need to do an increase row, and you'll know when, because it's going to start curving up, okay? And that's when you know that that's the row you need to start doing an increase on. Not a double, but an increase, okay? And then I'm just going to show you on these rugs here, the ones that I did. Like this one, of course, like I said, it's one of my favorites, but do you see how nice and flat it is? And this one just had the increase row, not a double, okay? This one, at this point right here, see how wavy it is around? And that's okay, because this is a meditation pad. But you know, if it's a rug, you don't want people tripping over it. And that is because right here at this green layer, I did a double row. So live and learn, right? It still works for this one. This one, I had learned to do just an increase row. And I love, this is so soft. I just love this rug. And then this one, you can see, turned out really well as two. And this is after I had learned about just increasing and not doubling, okay? This was one of the first ones that I did. And it is a little bumpy here and stuff. That's when I was just learning about increasing and what to do. But I wanted to show you on here the center of this one, and this dark gray and the black are sheets. And you can see that it doesn't give as nice of a look. And then you have all these little thready things that come out, and they're in the gray too. So that's up to you. If it doesn't bother you, that's fine, but it's harder to work with. And it will leave, like, unless you want to go around and spend hours cutting off every little thread, that's what you're going to get with sheets. I have some sheets that I am going to do one with, and I will videotape that just so you can see the difference. Okay? So I'm going to work on the little rug that we just started this morning, and I'll show you as I progress.